Hi, everybody. Mondion Astral Oracles, and I'm very happy to be with you as we move into this month of April. And there's a lot of things going on in people's lives and in the collectives and everything. And in my life, I do feel like the juxtaposition of a lot of new things arising in the future and sort of old energies of being in Denmark and right here in the Northwest is kind of the in between my two ancestral lands of Western and Northern Jutes, and it's also not very far from a town called Nykøbing Mors, which is the center of a novel that's defined a very Scandinavian concept called the law of Jente or Jentelån by this Dano-Norwegian author, and essentially like this, it's a principle that says that well. Don't think you're better than us. So it's like it's the idea that well, keep your head down and don't aspire to anything because essentially nobody nobody wants to hear from you anyway. So it's very interesting that I feel like a lot of the heavy dense energies are kind of accumulating and bringing me about in different spaces in the landscape to be released. And when I was in Ireland, there was also some information given in some private channelings I did over there where they talked about like genetic codes hailing from those parts, and of course there was an era in history where there was a good deal of slaves, abducted people brought over from the British Isles to these parts. So it's interesting how it seems like there are a lot of these very dense, unpleasant codes that are being exacerbated and coming up. And of course, there's a war going on, right? And that's also in a place that's well, oddly connected to this intersection of cultures, like an old area where that has kind of exported a lot of violence to the world. And of course what genetics are discovering is that, like, the assumption that the Aryans, they originally lived in the Ukraine, and then they sort of violently spread out across Eurasia. That seems to be like an energy that's being released and processed in that area, and I find that very fascinating. So I do assume that there will be some further channelings and messages coming up on geography, for instance, in the coming month, because I really sense that this is a very interesting part of Ascension, that the way that landscapes are being charged with new spiritual energies, and the way that we are all experiencing our relationship to the land and to different geographical regions very differently as we move into these altered realities, like as we get deeper and deeper into the 21st century and a new way of being human. So those were just some perspectives on what seems to be going on, and then of course we're going to check in with Umblam and the rest of the gang, the 9D Arcturian Council for those of you who are new here, and so he's a representative, my personal guide, who comes forward as someone who's easier to connect to, but the council is this collective consciousness of the wise Arcturians who are watching over us and guiding us and lending us wisdom, and their energy is of course also becoming more intertwined with ours. So there's also help to get from these entities. So with that preliminary, I hope you're doing well, and I hope you are looking forward to the coming month of April. Much love to you guys. Yes, hello, dear human beings. This is your friend Umblam of the Arcturian Council, and I felt it pertinent, important to bring forward a little laughter because I am aware that this body that I'm moving into and these other human beings that I'm addressing, all of you, you find yourself a little weighed down by the troubling, confusing horizons that, well, paint themselves in both near and far futures. Where will you go? What kind of world are you moving into? And what kind of world will you be leaving behind when you leave this world? Who are you leaving it to? And will they be alright? What is going on? Is that what you are trying to settle here by seeking our advice over and over again? I am not blaming you. We are not blaming you. We hold deep love for you human beings. We love it when you connect with our energy. But we also understand that you may find yourselves grappling for anything that can give you a semblance of normalcy, anything that can give you a semblance of guidance. And therefore, know that you have been prepped for a long time by us, by other entities, by spiritual beings moving into this plane looking as humans or awakening in human form. You have been prepped by all these impulses and instructions to move more into your own sense of awareness of the present moment. And in this present moment, there is always a right answer that's discernible for you. It is only because you want this right answer to fit into a grander narrative of where you are going that you even question that what you are doing is the right thing that you should be doing. That's not to say that there is not an element of free choice for all of you to be had, but, well, consider your day. Consider as you move into your day, as you wake up in the morning, as you perhaps have a ritual of cleanliness in one way or another, and another of taking in sustenance, and another of translocating into a type of professional role. Well, all these things, they are indeed set somewhat in stone for you. They are following a quite narrow course with some opportunity for variation, but yet at the same time you actually do enjoy that this variation is slightly limited. And so this is the way that you move about life in your everyday. This is the beautiful miracle that the soul gets to experience with its presence in the body, that the body is living its life, that it is feeling fulfilled by these impulses, by the feeling of drops of water in the shower, or the sense of getting up from bed and finding a warm pair of socks to comfort those feet in the otherwise slightly cold bedroom. Well, these are all slight miracles of sensation, and those you rarely question. But can you move into the same attitude with those greater conundrums, with those decisions of what needs to be done? What should you be doing with your life? Are you or more in direct speech, then am I doing what I am supposed to be doing? Am I correct in this moment? To us, this question is an absurdity, and so much of our guidance is directed towards you questioning your questioning of yourself, because what concerns you is indeed a ripple in the great ocean of consciousness. And, well, would you ever question a wave on the surface of the ocean being out of place? Is it not exactly where it is, and is it not passing with the momentum of the entirety of the ocean behind it, as it resolves its momentum by rising and falling back into the merger with the all. This is a way of allowing all your choices, all the things that you pursue, all your small and great projects to be a type of offerings, to be a type of playful undertakings. And so we cannot offer you any type of insurance in being, because we are aware that it is this insurance in being that is essentially the training wheels in your Ascension project. And if you've ever been around children who've learned to ride a two-wheeler, you would know that they do not enjoy going back to the training wheels. And so when you first have allowed yourself to be let go by your guides, by these entities, by this great eternal truth that is in every moment supporting you, backing you up, guiding everything you do. Well, if you allow yourself to be let go by that supportive hand, well, then you might crash for a moment, that's true, but you might get up again. You certainly will get up again. And you will get up again until you learn to perform that trick of balancing on the two-wheeler. And there you go, exploring the world on your own, uncovering new spaces that were unreachable to you before, simply by the fact that you learned to balance on your own. And this is the type of accounting that is being brought forward in this month of April. It is you feeling that you are wobbling, that you are crashing to one side or the other, that you may feel that there is too much negativity that is weighing you down and you will never get up again. And there is perhaps almost too bright vistas or too much that could possibly happen if you were to just get up and brush yourself off and go forward, move onwards on that bike. And so this is very much the exercise, the balancing act, the equation of equilibrium that you are uncovering. That is, you are learning by accounting for what is taking place in the present moment, by learning to take what seems to be burdensome choices, too great choices for you to feel that you can possibly be sure that you're making the right one, and offering them to the great, wondrous, playful part of your being, the eternal being that wants to see this carried forward, knowing that the worst thing that can happen is that you crash your bike because you allowed yourself to experiment with something new, and then you got up again and you learned to ride on. At some point you will learn to ride on, and maybe you will be noticed that the only thing that actually stopped you from this movement forward was this dithering, was this looking back, was this asking us and all your other friends from the internal and wise realms of infinite light if we would not please keep keep a hold of you, to hold your hand as you move into these dangerous and new spaces. And so do learn to ride the bike of Ascension, do learn to ride that two-wheeler, do learn the balancing act, because it will take you into new spaces. And as a concrete exercise, another one, we are being quite direct with you this evening. As a concrete exercise, you may want to identify the places where you already feel the Ascension brightness moving into you, where you already feel here's the possibility, here's the positivity, here is the thing that I envision doing, here's the thing that I'm so enticed by, so attracted by, that here I go on my two-wheeler, and even though I crash, I'm getting there, I'm getting up again, and I'm learning to balance because I'm going to that place, to that high vibrational state of brightness. You already have the nuggets, the shining pearls carrying you there, the small tunes in the distant background, or in far away but getting closer and more vivid. You make out more details of the music that's playing at the party of Ascension to which you are invited. And we will join you there, but you must get there on your own. A secret invitation has been extended, and now you must find the secret and yet bright and illuminated route to the place where we are waiting for you. We will no longer push you from behind, rather, we will attract you from the front. We will allow for our open embrace to await you, the angels, your ancestors, your alien friends, all the A's and new beginnings awakening in this Omega and fulfillment, this Omega point of your being. We will see you in April. We will see you in infinity. In love, we join you always. Always we are available to meet you there in the arches of infinite love. Blessings to you. I transmit to you, I, Umblam of the Arcturian Council, from all of the Arcturian Council, all of your galactic brethren, and all sentient beings in all of the galaxy, sharing this love in this infinite moment. Peace. It's always nice to connect with the Arcturians. Much love to you guys, and have fun riding the two-wheeler in this month of April.